Good morning and welcome back to another video. It is 9 o'clock on the dot and we have a Toyota Corolla in for a interior cleaning. We quoted between 220 to 260. Lex is now talking to the customer with the mask on, 6 feet apart, and we're gonna give the customer the quotes and they'll confirm the price and then we'll just get to work. But on this video, I want to talk to you about the next roughly like 54 days that we have left in the year and what you can do to get the most out of it, because just because it's the end of the year doesn't mean you should let your foot off the gas. It doesn't mean you should start taking breaks. If anything, you should go harder. But before we get into that, I started doing more podcast episodes, meaning just one. But if you just check the description box down below, I'll have the link there to my podcast. It's on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Stitcher, and all that. A common thought is going to be like, well, why don't you just ask people on your Detail Groove page? Like, you should have said, like, who wants to be my partner? You would have got a lot of requests. And yes, this is very true. If I were to be like, hey, I'm looking for a business partner who wants to join me here in Houston, I would get a bunch of people to be like, me, like, oh, dude, But the problem with that, though, is that most of those are not going to be good. Like it's called the Detailing Business Class Podcast. The most recent episode that I uploaded was why I brought on a partner, and I dove more into detail about that. So if you want to check out the podcast, you want me to be in your ears, that sounds kind of weird, then just check the description box for the podcast. Okay, so the sun is ridiculous right now, so if the lighting is all weird, please, try not to pay too much mind to that. So this one, I said it was gonna be between 220 to 260, but the interior is actually not bad at all, meaning like maybe just one seat needs to be extracted, and other than that, it's gonna be a simple clean. We actually detailed this vehicle about like a month ago or so. So there's not much to actually do. So instead of 220 to 260, we're gonna charge maybe like 120, because honestly, there's not much we have to do on here. So this video is really for those that, and this is gonna be for all of us, but for those that you just feel like you haven't been hitting your goals, that things haven't been going your way, that you've been doing so many things but things aren't just working out. Like, what do you do when you feel like you're not making progress, or when you aren't hitting your goals and you feel like you keep on hitting roadblock after roadblock, and you see everyone else doing great but you're not doing great? So what do you do then, right? Like, what do you do when things are not going in your favor? So now that we have about like 55-ish days left in the year, what do you want to do for the next 2-ish months? Do you just want to continue what you're doing? Do you have any other goals that you want to achieve? Is there something that you want to kind of readjust and see if you can hit those goals? What I would recommend you do, and this is what I always do towards the end of the year, and not just the end of the year but usually just in general, is that whatever you've done in the past, whatever your results were the last 3 months, for the next 2 months, create a plan to take massive action with no second thought or emotion or any type of expectations. Just make a plan and go full on out for the next 55 days. All right, it's a hard sprint. Don't worry about like, okay, well, I did this in the past and this and this, that. Like, don't worry about what happened in the past. Just focus on the next 55 days to do the best you can at whatever it is going to be. If it's going to be, I want to get more customers, okay, then focus on getting more customers over the next 55 days. If it's like, I want to post on this, you want to create videos for that, you want to hone in your skills on this. If it's going to be whatever the case may be, whatever it is over the next 55 days, just have singular focus and discipline towards that one thing, no matter what it is. And look, and when I say make a plan to take action, I don't mean you have to speculate every single last thing. It's only the last 55 days. Like, if you're gonna speculate and overanalyze, that should have been done way back then. At this point, at this time, where we are with the year, you just want to take massive action. Like if you haven't been taking action, right? Let's say you've been real stagnant and you've been, you know, over analyzing things. You just taking action, hard action, massive action, discipline, being focused for the next 55 days will set you up for 2021. Right? So like right now, if things aren't going your way, you're like, oh, you know what, I'm already kind of like winding down, like, you know, it hasn't been going my way. Don't wait until 2021 to be like, you know what, now I'm gonna start. Whether you're just starting your business, whether you have very few customers, whether you just want to get into it, right? The next 55 days should just be a hard sprint. Whether that's honing in on your skills, just practice on the vehicle every single day. Whether that's trying to get more customers, then post more on Instagram or post more on Facebook or do something, whatever that plan may be for you, right? I don't know what you're doing, but whatever it is, don't put too much thought into it. Just take action, because the more you try to think about, hey, am I doing this right? Am I gonna get the most views? Am I gonna get the most clicks? Am I gonna get the most likes? That's what's gonna hold you up and really prevent you from taking action. Like for me, over the next 55 days, I'll be doing a lot of activity, and guess what? I'm not gonna pay attention to the analytics, to the insights to see what's working, what's not. That's irrelevant to me. I just wanna make sure I'm being consistent with my actions every day, moving towards my singular goal. Hopefully I'm still in frame, because it's kind of weird, so I actually don't know. But regardless, just write down a plan with no expectations or no like presumptions of what's gonna happen, and every day work on whatever it is. Be consistent for the next 55 days. Priming the pump. And look, you can hold on to whatever excuses that you have. You can say you can't do this and you can't do that because of this and because of that, and if you tried this. But remember, there is someone in the same situation as you or worse, and they're making it happen. So at the end of the year, at the end of these 55 days, do you want to say, hey, these last 55 days, I gave it my all, I did whatever I did, and I'm happy with the results? Or are you gonna say, well, last 55 days, nothing really happened, and I was the same of where I am now? That's not, I'm assuming, what you want out of it. And remember, it's not like if you do this hard sprint, if you really stay focused for the next 55 days, it's not like you're gonna be any more successful, right? Like, there's no guarantee on that part. But at least, instead of just staying stagnant and thinking like, oh, I wish I would have done this, I wish I would have done that, at least you can say, you know what, I'm still in control of what I do. I can't control everything. I can just only control, you know, my actions and, you know, how much effort I put into it. And per that, you can try and do what you want and achieve what you want within that 55 time frame. You know, you're not gonna, you know, make 6 figures in 55 days, but you can set yourself up to whatever you want to do in those 55 days. So don't just be, you know, saying, you know what, hasn't been really going well, yada yada. You just, you know, realign yourself, think about, you know, your goal, your purpose, and then get after it for the next 55 days. So fast forward a couple hours, I just hit another a 10-pound PR and deadlift. My previous PR was 405, just bumped that up to 415, so that's always good news. But I'll leave it right here, rather short video. Just wanted to put this video out quickly, that way, you know, hopefully to some of you that, you know, get motivated or inspired by me or wanted to be like, I wonder if I should, you know, do this, do that. Yes, do it, because why not? You know, even if you fail, you tried. A lot of things that I'm gonna do over the next 55 days aren't gonna work. Like 80% of the stuff that I'll do won't like take off. It won't be a big hit. It won't like transform the business. But if I do that every single day consistently, then something might happen. But I'm not expecting any one-off thing to explode the business. But if I do it every single day and I stay consistent, whether it's good or bad, low or high, something will happen. So in the comment section down below, let me know if you will take this little 55-day sprint and what will you work on? What's like the one thing, the primary focus you want over the next 55 days? Let me know in the comment section down below so we can just see what's going on. Other than that, again, in the description box, you'll see the guide to the ultimate guide to start your detailing business, and then the link to my podcast. I'll be putting out more content as time goes on, but I do want to be more on a routine upload schedule. So I'll end it right here. Leave that comment down below and see you on the next time.